Hello everyone, my name is Barış Akıncı and this is my slide for Physics 2012 Lab 2 Charge Tape Revisited. So for introduction, the aim of this lab was to compare the forces from a line of charge with a form from a single point charge. We made the comparison using our recorded measurements together with a GlowScript computational model. We found that the tape's total charge inferred with the line charge model was larger than the charge inferred from a single point model. In our setup, the top tape was treated as the system, while the bottom tape and the Earth were surroundings. And for our fundamental principles, as usual, we got our Coulomb's law, which is force of electric force equal to K constant Q1 times Q2 over R squared, where our K constant is 1 over pi E naught, and Newton's second law, F net equals ma, and Newton's third law, F A exerts force to B equals minus F B exerts force to A. For assumptions and idealizations, we ignored the air resistance on moving tapes, and each tape carries the same total charge Q uniformly distributed along its length. We neglect the self-interaction within a single tape, which means slow only interaction between tapes, and then electrostatics, we did the slow motion and we only cared about small motion and small displacements. So our first part of coding is from our Lab 1 GlowScript code, which we have the constant of our findings from Lab 1, and of course all the observed data is in SI units. For example, we got here K value, G, which is gravity, M is mass of our tape, and then Q is from last lab estimated net charge on the tape. And then the second part of coding, the first part of code is a regular E field function that we calculate E field, and then the second part, it builds tape by placing n equally spaced point charges from start position to start position plus axis, giving each bead position start pose plus II, which is a for loop in here, and axis over n minus 1. The total charge Q and mass M are split evenly, so every bead has Q over n and M over n, and the function returns the lists of these beads for field and force calculations. And the last part of our code from Lab 2. For each element, sum the E field from all bottom elements, then draw a green arrow showing the net E at that point, scaled by E scale. Simultaneously, we computed F equals Q top times E for each pair and accumulate to get the total electric force on the top tape. And while doing this, we use nested for loop. Results. We tuned the line charge model until the electrical repulsion matched the tape's weight and the top tape floated as shown in the screenshot. A simple point charge estimate gave a similar result, suggesting only minor near-field correction at this spacing, with uncertainty dominated by measurement error and humidity and leakage. And on the right of the page we got the image of our code, where we can find the magnitude of electrical force and magnitude of gravitational force. What if and why? What if point charge? Treat each tape a single charge at its center and tune Q to float to that tape. You will get a similar Q At moderate spacing, big differences appear only at very small gaps or for much longer tapes. Why do they differ? Geometry and near field. A line's nearby segments boost the field more than a point does. Finite length and assumptions. And effects, uniform charge assumption and shift the results. The line model is so more realistic. Conclusion: the line of charged model matches our observations and by capturing near-field geometry more realistically than a point charge approximation. Thank you for listening.